Okay, welcome. Forecast episode number 7. I am back from vacation. Mini vacation is 2 days off vacation. I don't really know. My friend Aaron, who actually has started editing these videos, if you've noticed, the editing has gotten a little bit more advanced. We can thank Aaron for that. Thank Aaron for that. Thank Aaron for that. I know I was saying last week that everybody should take some time off, that it's important to refresh. If you've been following the show along for a while, or you follow me on Instagram, you know that I race bikes and I love riding. And just generally, I just haven't, been that interested. I'm probably riding maybe half as much as I usually do. And I didn't bring the bike upstate this weekend, which, is something I would never consider generally. I would always have brought the bike. The last 3 days I've been super motivated and excited to try and get fit. And I think it's just a perfect example of what that time off can do. I haven't been riding as much and I've been beating myself up for that and feeling shitty about it. And it's been another thing that I'm not doing, or I feel like I'm not doing well. And to just give yourself a fucking break. Not just an actual break with time, but let yourself off a little bit easier. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's transformative, and I feel super excited to be out there riding again and trying to get fit, and it's amazing just even what a couple days can do. So, if you needed another reason to try and take some time off, that would be it. Let's start with another post of the week. This is a new feature that we are doing here. A lot of you said that you loved it last week. We're gonna do it again. This week it's a post from Jessica Petway. This is for a Sephora fragrance campaign. I think why I bring this up is that it's really hard to shoot boxes. There's a lot of campaigns where you have to hold a box or hold a product, and it's difficult to do that. And I think that sometimes the motivation it's one of two things. It's either go totally crazy and try and create this whole scene out of it, or you just are holding it up next to your face, right? I love what she did here. It's simple. Laid a sheet down so it's a clean background. It's unapologetic that she is holding this Sephora box full of fragrance. Your eye does go to it. It is in the center of the photo, which is the whole point, right? The brand wants people scrolling through the feed to be able to see what this is. So I think it's a hard thing to get right, and when you get it right, it doesn't look overly creative or over the top, but I think Jessica did a great job with this one. And then the caption, similar, and she does such a lovely job saying hey, I love fragrance. I like to wear a lot of different ones. It's hard for me to choose. Sephora has solved that problem with this box that they've created where you get to sample it and then you get to pick one and you get a full size at no additional cost. It's a good product. It solves a problem that a lot of people are familiar with, and Jessica did a great job talking about that problem and explaining what the solution is. So I say A+. Question number 1, should I be creating memes? I guess 1, you should be if you're funny. That is one core thing. But let's step back and think about what makes memes so powerful and why it's important right now on the internet to understand what is happening with memes and meme culture. I saw this week that Budweiser is hiring a chief meme officer. I've actually seen a few businesses now that have hired people specifically to work on memes. Memes have been around since the internet's been around, since before the internet has been around. And what makes them so powerful are a few things. Obviously, they're so easy to share, right? They are funny in a way that is clever, right? I always say that for me, it feels like memes are the kind of things that you look at and you go that's funny. And they allow a lot of people to participate, right? You can take a cultural thing that is happening and create memes. This is also what makes TikTok so addictive, right? Is that there's these challenges, which are essentially memes, that are really simple. It allows people to put their spin on it endlessly, so it's evolving. And there is always this chance as well that as somebody without a following, if you create something really funny or especially impactful or insightful, that yours can go really viral. Your post, your TikTok, whatever it might be. Right now on TikTok and Reels, you see a lot of that challenge where someone flips a shoe and crosses their leg and then their outfit changes, right? It's a simple thing that people can participate in. And I think that if you think about how important memes have been in culture for decades, right? And now with the rise of TikTok and these challenges and meme culture there, I think that as an influencer, as you think about that content, what you can learn is like, how can I make something that is instantly enjoyable, right? That's what short video does so well, is that it gives you that instant hit. I watch it for 5, 10 seconds, I get the value, I'm entertained, I move on. That is probably the thing that you should be thinking about as an influencer right now, is how can I create that kind of snackable, fun content that is shareable and entertaining? Question number 2 is, how can I improve my engagement? This is a question that has been asked since back when our show was called. Something I've talked about but is worth discussing again is I don't think enough people really think about what a like is and why somebody likes a post, right? The vast majority of the posts that you consume, the posts that you read, the ones you expand, you don't like. You have to think about, what is somebody doing when they like a post? They're trying to send you a signal. I think that is especially hard to get as an influencer. If you do this, and you should do this right now, because I think this is a great way to understand what is driving likes, is not go to your most liked posts. Instead, go to your settings, go to your account tab in Instagram, and go to posts that you've liked. And look at the posts that you've liked. And try and understand what you were thinking when you liked those posts. A lot of them are just gonna be your friends and family, people that you feel connected to and you wanna kind of send a little message to. Hey, I saw this is great. Other things will be people's life events. I got a new job, I had a baby, I moved. That's like, you're clapping, it's like congratulations. The first 2 buckets there, big life event, exciting thing, announcement, hard to replicate. You can't do that over and over and over and over again. The other one, close friend, family, something like that, hard to replicate. Certainly building community helps. But the other is, I think, posts that you felt like, I got something out of this and what I'm gonna give you is a like. Oh, I really enjoyed that, more than the mindless scrolling that I'm doing. And it just goes back to what we always talk about, which is, inspire, entertain, educate. You have to be providing value. You have to be in service of your audience. Your audience is your customer, and you have to bring that mentality to the posts that you create. But don't forget, when you think about engagement, to think about the philosophy behind it and think about what is happening when somebody likes a post, and be conscious of that as you're creating that content. Because you can't hack your way into great engagement. There's just no way to do that. You have to understand that relationship between liking a post and why they are liking it. Because at the end of the day, so much of your career as an influencer is based on being able to drive those likes. Because we've talked to Christy Dash, we've talked to other people at Instagram, and they will say, like, yes, likes, engagement are #1 driver of the algorithm. So to be able to drive that engagement, you have to first understand that engagement. As always, send in your questions. We will answer them, and we'll see you next week.